It's time for us to drive the enemy back.
Alright, we're gonna get straight into this. Does anybody in the West ever learn from Concord's mistake? Bungie is really not learning. Sony is also going to do the same thing. They are announcing fair games, which I don't know. I think they canceled it. I don't know. So we're gonna react to Hypnotic's video. Let's see what he had to say.
So let's get into this video, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So let's check out the gameplay footage. This is apparently from their alpha gameplay. So I'm very curious to see what this is, but this released about 3 hours ago, and it says it's Marathon official gameplay reveal trailer. Let's check it out. Now, I want you to keep in mind as we are watching this trailer, just keep in mind that this is not going to be a free-to-play shooter. I want you to understand that they're going to charge you money in order to gain access to this video game, just like they did with Concord. So if that helps you, have a decision in your mind, I just want you to have that information.
The end of all things. But the dream is not over. My dream. Yours.
This is almost like cyberpunk style-ish kind of graphics and just overall aesthetic going on over here. I gotta be honest with you, man. Like, I don't understand the obsession with trying to create a team shooter. I feel like these guys should have learned their lesson with what happened with Concord, and I can't believe they're doubling down on Marathon, and then on top of that, not making it a free-to-play title. But anyway, we'll talk about it after the rest of the gameplay.
Sorry I had to get it longer, but see, here's the thing. Most people, most developers, they still have the idea that live service is the new norm, not single player. Seriously, doesn't anybody learn from Black Myth Wukong? Black Myth Wukong and Marvel Rivals are the example of a good game. Take a look with Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong shows everybody that single player is still a thing. For live service, Marvel Rivals has just proven it right. They've done it right. The people who make Marvel Rivals, they knew that it is difficult to make a live service. They knew live service is saturated and it's not easy for you to convince people to play your game instead of others. And Marvel Rivals have already convinced gamers their game is for the gamers. That they have convinced gamers, not just newer ones, but also gamers who were Overwatch fans or Blizzard fans like that. They haven't exactly convinced Call of Duty players. They already convinced Overwatch players. At this point, if Call of Duty were to go out, then all those Call of Duty players, they will play Marvel Rival or Fortnite.
Run.
September 23rd, 2025. Now, one thing is they did say that you can wishlist it on all platforms, so it will be available day one on all platforms, which is a major W in my opinion, and we need to make sure we keep doing that. So let's talk about the actual game itself. So we have an article here from Insider Gaming with a headline that reads, Marathon is not free to play and will be a premium priced video game. This has to be one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen ever. And I gotta imagine that they're probably doing this because of Destiny, right? Destiny was a game that had a lot of PvP aspects to it, on top of PvE, obviously. But it was a premium price video game because it played like a single player PvE game. To my knowledge, this game is not going to necessarily have that and is focused on a team shooter as.
Oh yes, they also have Paul Tassi. Unbelievable. Seriously, what is it with these people? You think that by charging, you know what? Let's rephrase that. Whether it's a premium price or free to play, one thing you need to know, you have to convince players to play your game. Marvel Rivals knows, even way before they created that game. Here, let me rephrase my statement. Marvel Rivals developers, they knew the moment they started the game or start development of the game, they knew they have to figure out a way to convince gamers to play their game. Whether it's free to play or premium price. Convincing them is another factor. How do you convince people to play your game, whether it's free to play or live service? You have to do something different. Yes, you can take inspiration, but you have to do something different than your competition. And Marvel Rivals is doing it with the superhero fans, aka Marvel fans. Here's a conspiracy theory. I assume that Marvel Rivals must have seen the discourse, not just surrounding Overwatch, but also the discourse surrounding the comic book industry. They knew that many people who are comic book fans are starving for something to see the old comic book days in a video game. They rarely have it, and even though they did, it's not the same. And that is why they made Marvel Rivals. And I'm certain some of those players, even though they don't play Marvel Rivals, they just play Overwatch, they must have been comic book fans.
Game. It says that on the game will release on September 23rd as a premium product, meaning players will be asked to pay full price. Hussein also confirmed that the game will feature a seasonal content model with its own battle pass, 3 maps at launch, a 4th coming later, and a persistent story. Now, when they say persistent story, I don't know if you're going to be able to partake in any kind of single player gameplay of any kind. I highly doubt it. I'm sure when they mean persistent story, it's kind of the same thing that they were talking about with Concord, where the vignettes, right? And the whole, oh, don't worry, every week you log on, there's going to be story for you to. Bro, this is Concord 2.0. And again, it's not even about like the wokeness. I'm not even talking about that. Don't care. I didn't see any, so I don't really care about that. I'm talking about the business aspects of this. This is the dumbest shit that I've ever seen. Like, how are you going to compete against the free-to-play shooters that just do it better or do it the same, right? Even if you do it the same, even if you do it better, it doesn't matter. You are charging an entry fee. Now, keep in mind, it is not going to be a $79.99 entry fee or a $69.99 entry fee. It's probably going to be around the same as Concord, which is $30 to $40. They're going to charge a smaller entry fee, but at the end of the day, they are still charging an entry fee when their competition is saying, you know what? You don't got to pay us anything. Just come play our game. We guarantee you're going to like it so much that you're going to buy a skin here and there and whatnot. That's what they're banking on. Before players panic about having to pay $70, though, it's already been reported that Marathon's price point won't be close to that figure. Forbes gaming writer Paul Tassi, who's long covered Bungie and Destiny, stated on X that they received confirmation that Marathon is not $70 and will be not even close to that number. The official Marathon account has since doubled and confirmed that game will be a premium title, but not full price, and stated that more details will be announced in the summer. As Tassi wrote in an earlier post, releasing closer to $30 to $40, of course, still comes with its own risk. Several players reacted to the reveal that Marathon won't be free to play immediately are already making comparisons to Concord. Concord, a multiplayer shooter released in 2024 as a debut game for Firewalk Studios, launched at $40 price point for its standard edition, and sadly for Firewalk, the game received lukewarm reception. Again, lukewarm. Imagine trying to say Concord had lukewarm reception. Bro, that game got crucified. What are you talking about lukewarm reception? The game received lukewarm reception from critics and failed to establish any sort of reliable player base. Within 2 weeks of launch, the game was shut down, and Firewalk Studios was closed down 2 months later in what's considered one of the biggest launch disasters in gaming history. Guys, I got to be real with you. So I don't think we're going to see another Concord necessarily, because I feel like unlike Firewalk Studios, Bungie has that namesake. Bungie has that player base built in, and I feel like Bungie has some fanboys. So I really don't think that it's going to be the same scenario, right? Firewalk, nobody knew who the fuck they were, right? This was their first outing, and they wanted to charge $40. They wanted to be the premium boy, and nobody knew who they were. Whereas everybody knows Bungie for the most part. So I think that alone is going to carry the game a little bit further than something like Concord. However, I got to imagine, even if you are Bungie, you must realize that the competition that you are trying to put your game around is going to be heavily, heavily stiff, if you catch my drift.
I think at this point, to all those Bungie fans, if they got screwed over again, they might as well play Marvel Rivals. Okay, first off, yeah, Bungie has the name for it as a namesake compared to Firewalk Studios. I mean, nobody knows who they are, like Hypnotic says. They try to charge premium dollars, and what happens? The game flops. Same goes for the studio, goes kaput, finito. Let's get another example. Marvel Rivals, NetEase Games. Everybody knows that place is from China. I'm certain some people already knows about their game, their heavy monetization. Marvel Rivals. How come anybody has any reception on that? You know what, let me rephrase. See what Marvel Rivals learned. Before the developer of Marvel Rivals learned, or before they are in development, they thought to themselves, how can we make a better live service than the competition? Because they knew that their live service is gonna be an imitation of Overwatch. How can they make a better one? A better than Overwatch. But then they realized comic books. They saw the discourse, not just in Overwatch 2, and the discourse around the comic book industry, how it's all go downhill. So perhaps they can give something for not just Overwatch players, but comic book fans. Marvel Rivals earn not just all players, they earn Overwatch players, they earn comic book fans. Okay, I know some of my viewers who are watching this do not just play Overwatch, but they also are comic book fans. You are wanted to see the old comics to be incorporated in a game, and Marvel Rivals have done it. They also now making promotion, such as for Spider-Man PC port, Marvel Spider-Man 2 PC port. What's next? Captain America Brave New World. Well, that's a popcorn bundle. Now they're releasing a Season 2 update with Emma Frost, X-Men. It was only a matter of time until we see Scott, aka Cyclops, Jean Grey, what else? Kitty Pryde. Do we have Juggernaut in Marvel Rivals? I don't know. I need to recheck. I don't think we have Juggernaut. I know we have Storm, Wolverine, Scarlet Witch, Magneto, and now Emma Frost. There's a lot of X-Men. At this point, the brand recognition will carry it through. It will not be worse than Concord, but probably it will be higher, be 1,000 players, something. Who really knows? However, if these people don't attack the fans, if the person who make Marathon or any developers who make Marathon doesn't attack the fans, saying them they're racist, bigots or anything, oh, that's really gonna tank them forward. Which is why I would say Marathon is gonna be 100% cooked. This is how it works, okay? This 100% cooked to 1,000 like that. If they say anything weird or stupid, I will increase it either 200% or 250%. That's how I work. And I take this inspiration from Nuxanor, another fellow creator that I subscribe to.
So the enemy has proposed that you defect. In that case, perhaps we should use their desire to recruit you against them by planting you within their army. Gain their trust, and before long, we will give the signal for you to destroy their ranks and resolve from within. Are you capable of doing this?
Leave a like and subscribe if you want woke or anti-woke detected, or you just want to see me play games, or perhaps you like trending topics. Visit my second, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.